last year. Craig Shirley is a Reagan biographer, obviously has studied a lot about Margaret Thatcher. He's on the phone with us also. Craig, we've been talking this morning about a woman who bent history. You know, Bobby Kennedy said very few have the power to actually bend history. Margaret Thatcher bent history on so many levels. She did as a conservative. She did as a woman, doing what she did in that man-centric country 38 years ago. She did as a British leader, saving Great Britain from further decline. And as you know all too well from all of your writings on Reagan, she bent history as a Cold Warrior.
Absolutely.
Talk about how Margaret Thatcher, along with Pope John Paul II, were shoulder to shoulder with Ronald Reagan in bringing down the Soviet Union.
Well, you have to go back to 1979. We were losing the Cold War. Southeast Asia had fallen to communism. The Soviets were in Nicaragua, Afghanistan. They were El Salvador. Italy had come in 1975 within hair's breadth of voting into a party of communist government. So the fortuitous rise of John Paul II and Reagan and Thatcher portend a new world that nobody foresaw in 1979. In 1979, we thought the Soviet Union was a permanent fixture. The Berlin Wall was a permanent fixture, and none of these things would ever change.
But they did change. Talk about her relationship with Ronald Reagan and Margaret Thatcher in 1985 famously saying of Mikhail Gorbachev, "I can work with him." How important was that for Reagan to hear?
I think, you know, that Gorbachev signaled a new Soviet leader, and Reagan understood that, and he was able to work with him as well. But he was still a communist, and everybody understood that. She once said that Reagan was the second most important man in her life, and he once said that she was the strongest man in Great Britain. So I think that gives you an indication of the mutual respect between the two.